Good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inspired Beauty, the place where we talk about things that hopefully will inspire you for the day, and we also talk about beauty. So hopefully you get some makeup tips and tricks. I'm Jen Tiffany. Thank you so much for joining me. This is social media, and that's actually what we're going to talk about today. Social media, which means join in the conversation. I would love you to get into the conversation in the comments. That's what I love most. I appreciate it so much when you're here, and I appreciate your thoughts. And I love to discuss it further. I want to get to know you better. So if you have something you want to share, please drop it in the comments. I would love to hear from you. So I want to chat about your dreams, social media, because I've got to tell you, I am fascinated by the landscape we're living in right now. I have always had an entrepreneurial spirit, had never been an entrepreneur until a couple of years ago. And, those kind of things for me always happen by accident, because I keep my regular job, right? But you kind of get this side hustle going on. And sometimes your passion sparks a business. But with social media, we're in such an exciting time because so many of the barriers have been taken down to start something that you love, start something that maybe you could build into a big business. So that's kind of some of the thoughts that we are going to go over today, is just some of the things that are possible. I mean, think about it this way, right? If somebody would have told you 10 years ago that you're going to call a stranger for a ride and you're going to stay at a stranger's house when you go on vacation, Uber, Lyft, Airbnb, people would have thought you were nuts. But this is the age that we're living in. There's so much opportunity that lives right here, like the remote control of your life, right? What is the thing that is always within arm's reach to most of us? Here it is. Here it is. So in addition to, starting your own business, there's also just such an opportunity to learn. When you want to learn something, Google, we don't say I'm going to look it up on the internet. We say I'm going to Google it. We're just in that age, and I am excited for that. And I'm probably slightly older than the adopting demo, but I think over the past couple of years we've broken down those age barriers, that I don't think it's as big of a thing. So that's what I want to chat about. I would love to know your experience. We'll just get into some thoughts. I don't have anything organized. What I hope will come of this is that if there's something you've been thinking about, maybe there's something you're really good at that you want to put out into the world, I hope that this will inspire you to look into it further and maybe take some action. Because I always say, your dreams are always one step away. And maybe today is the day that you decide to take the first step. Whether that's with my company, or we're going to talk about some of the other things I've done before. And, I hope that it inspires you. So real quick, for foundation, we're going to use something that I have not used in years, probably 3 years. And that is our Pressed Cream Foundation. I have 2 shades here just because neither is my perfect match. So we're going to mix. There's your tip. If you have foundations that are maybe not quite your perfect tip, mix them. Mix them. Don't throw away makeup. We don't throw away makeup, but we'll mix it and reuse it. So that's what I'm going to try to do today. Whether or not I will be successful will be another story. That will be, we'll see. I'm going to just kind of mix them on the back of my hand real quick, just to make sure I can get a decent color before I start putting it on my face. On my face. Did you know, that's another tip? Just mix on the back of your hand. If you're trying to do something and you're not sure if it's going to work, use the back of your hand as a mixing medium. The other thing that happens on the back of your hand, and then we'll get back into social media in a second here, but the other thing that happens is you warm makeup up to your skin's temperature, so it's more likely to go on nicer for you. Now, you saw me put primer on. You always want to start with primer. When you're doing foundation, all right, let's see if this is gonna work. I probably should be using a brush, but we're just gonna try to use this little applicator here. When you're doing foundation too, start in the middle. Start in the middle so that you can work your way out, and then you're not, that's a pretty look, huh? Then you're not gonna get so much of those lines. Yeah, I wanted to try this today because I've not worn it in so long, and I just like I am a liquid. I love our Mineral Touch liquid foundation. That's my go-to. But every once in a while, I like to put different products on so that if you're asking me about them, I can give you some good feedback on my own experience with it. Okay. And then I'm going to show you one other quick little tip. So are you doing anything on social media right now? Do you run a business? Is there anything that you are selling or blogging about? Anything that you're using platforms for? I'm always so interested in that. I follow a lot of social media trainers, and I'm just fascinated when they're sharing stories of others and what people are doing. Okay, I want to highlight under those eyes. So I'm going to take the lighter of those colors and we're going to highlight. Once I find a brush to do it with, here we go. We'll just use the concealer brush. Let's make sure it's clean because we don't want to have remnants of something else on it and then be surprised. So just take that lighter color and we're going to put it in a downward V. That's how we highlight. We want to do the downward V because it takes that heaviness away from the eyes. So a few years ago, I had a need for money. I just feel like things are getting more expensive, but wages aren't necessarily keeping up with that. Do you feel that? Like, does that happen in your world? Can you relate to that? That was something that was happening in my world. So, probably 5-6 years ago, I decided to get crafty. Now, here's the funny thing. Like, I've always been crafty, but I knew nothing about wreaths. Nothing. But I found some supplies at my mom's house. I'm like, well, I wonder what I can do with this. And I went to YouTube, and I Googled, and I learned. And I learned how to make all these wreaths, and I started selling them on Facebook. I would just say, oh my gosh, look what I did. And my friends would say, oh my gosh, I want one of those. Can you make me one of those? And like a business was born. That's one of the things that I think is so exciting about social media is the ability to, really create a business in such a non-traditional way. But I think it's becoming the more traditional way in our times. I'm going to use a brush just to kind of fill in some of these areas. And so from that, I thought, well, maybe I need a bigger platform, right? Like, instead of just my Facebook friends, maybe I need a bigger platform. So I opened a shop on Etsy. And it did quite well. It did really well. In fact, so well that, a wreath business is not something you can really scale because they take a lot of time. My average wreath would take me 8 hours. So what happened one year is that I got so many orders, like within a couple days of each other, leading into Christmas. It was probably October, November time frame, that I became so overwhelmed because it was just too much. I'm going to use my hands. I don't usually recommend using your hands, but I want to make sure we've got all of that blended in nicely. But it's a good finish, right? I'm gonna top it with some pressed powder foundation just because I like a matte finish. If you watch me a lot, I love my matte finish. So I will, we will dust it with that here in a little bit. But so I got all of these orders, and I was so overwhelmed. And that's sometimes when your side business isn't fun anymore. And I was waking up super early to make wreaths. I was making wreaths on my lunch break. I was making wreaths at night into the wee hours in the morning. And I wasn't able to fulfill some of them in the time that I promised, which is not a good thing for me because I'm a people pleaser. Customer service is always my number one goal. So it became a lot. So anyway, while I was running that business and I was starting to feel overwhelmed, that's when Younique came my way. I saw pictures of lashes on Facebook and I'm like, what is this? What is this? Because I have short natural lashes. I'm like, I need this in my life. And what really intrigued me was, here I was, somebody who was spending 8 hours on a wreath. I'm having to make it, package it, ship it, do all of the customer service, all the sales, everything, right? And the making it and the shipping was really taking its toll on me. Because listen, going to the post office, especially when you get into the holiday season, going to the post office every day is not my idea of a good time. Not at all. Like, I dreaded it. It sounds so silly that I just got to the point where I dreaded going to the post office to ship anything. And anyway, so I saw these lash pictures. And honestly, I wasn't really thinking about it as a business at the time. Younique was very new when I got started, and I had never heard of it. So I was researching the company, because I was one of those folks that was like, oh yeah, pyramid scheme, nobody makes money, whatever. When I was looking into it, I thought, well, like, here's the deal. I want the mascara, right? But I can get this entire starter kit that includes the mascara for a really great deal. And I could use some good makeup. I wasn't really treating myself at the time. I mean, there was a reason I was making wreaths, and it was because I needed extra money to make ends meet. Okay, we're just topping it off with some powder just to mattify it a bit. Nothing, we're not putting a full heavy layer on. We just want to touch that up. Okay, let's get some color on my face because I'm looking really, really, really pale. And so one of the things that attracted me, there were so many things that attracted me to Younique. The company mission, the fact that it supports women, or was founded to help women who were victims of childhood sexual abuse. There's a retreat. If you want info on that, it's youniquefoundation.org. I hope that, if it's something you need, or a friend that you know who may need it, there's a free retreat that you can go to kind of help you start the healing process from that. And to realize that it's not your fault. I didn't realize how many women carry that around. So anyway, there were a lot of things that attracted me to Younique, but at that time in my life, one of the biggest things was, oh my gosh, I don't have to ship the product. They take care of that for me. They take care of it for me. Now, since then, I've grown it to where I do keep a lot of on-hand inventory, and you all, many of you come over and pick up your stuff and come over and try things, and I love that. So anyway, that is what attracted me to Younique. So since then, I've really had a front row seat to social selling and what's been happening. Think about it this way. Whatever your business is, if you're making crafts, if you're in network marketing, if you're a part of Younique, if you want to be a part of Younique, you don't hesitate at all to go to your Facebook wall and say, oh my gosh, picture of the plate of food that you have at a restaurant, this is so good. Think about it. We live in a world of referrals, and now we can get referrals and reviews out in lightning speed to the masses. And that's really what social selling is. That's why influencers have become a thing, because people are trusting of that. They don't want to see the, big ad that an ad agency did for a product. You want to see your friends. You want to see people who are like you, wearing the product, using the product, liking the product. So it opens up this whole window of exciting opportunity for everyone. Because now, again, going back 10 years, 20 years, if you wanted to start a business, there was a big startup cost, right? You'd have to go to the bank in most cases, get a loan. There was a lot of risk involved. And for many of you, or many of us, me included, we couldn't stop the full-time job to be able to go and work, like a brick and mortar. Couldn't do it, couldn't take that risk, needed to pay the bills, needed to pay the mortgage, card payment, whatever. Maybe for you it's kids' activities, school loans. So we couldn't do that. Well, now, because of social media, you can take your business anywhere that you go. Anywhere that you go. So you've got this flexibility, and I really think that when it comes down to it, people are looking for freedom. Let's see if we get that lighting better. People are looking for freedom. We are living in such a busy society. If you could change one thing, or let's talk about your top 3. Don't you think one of them for most of you would be that you would like more control of your time, more flexibility in your time? And I think that's one of the main things that is driving social selling, social media. I mean, look, we use social media to keep up with friends because it's faster than us picking up the phone and calling. Do I think that some of the communication has kind of taken a step backwards? Probably, but that's another show, another topic for another show. But I think of the opportunity. The other thing that I love is, like, let's say you're a writer and you have always wanted to write your own book. Well, you can do a blog now. You can put that, you can essentially self-publish it, right? And if it's good enough, you will get a following and people will start to pay attention. How exciting is that? It's a level playing field for everyone, truly. And that excites me because I think that there are many barriers in our world. So to see something that anybody can do is awesome. Like, I was watching one of the social media trainers I watched last night, that I follow. Come on, Jen, spit it out, right? I was watching him last night, and he was visiting a boutique, a woman who started this solely on Facebook. And now she has like this huge empire, huge warehouse. The possibilities are endless. And I think sometimes we get into the mindset of, oh, I should have started 5 years ago. It's too late. I can't do it now. Listen, it's never too late. It is never too late. If you have a dream, if you have a goal, you can nap. You can take a nap, but you're not allowed to quit. Not allowed to quit on that dream. So if you've been snoozing on your dream, wake up and start today. Don't let another day go by, because there's just, the possibility is insane. The other thing that I heard from one of my social media experts, if you're thinking that it's too late, is that this ship has not even left the harbor yet. How exciting is that? So we have Amazon, who just had a record-breaking Prime Day. I mean, huge. Outdid in a summer month. Like, if you are into retail, the J months are typically really slow retail months. So here you have Amazon, who comes out with Prime Day in a J month and outdoes their Black Friday sales. Like, crushes their Black Friday sales. Does that not tell you something? Success leaves clues. Success leaves clues. It is not too late to start that. So, what are you good at? What do you love? What would make you happy to do on the side? What types of things don't feel like work? Like, unique doesn't feel like work for me. I love it. I absolutely love it. Doesn't feel like work, and I think that's what's important. The wreaths at the beginning I loved, and then they started feeling like work, and it just really wasn't my thing anymore. If you were wondering what I'm using on my eyes, I was using Splurge Cream Shadow. The lids are the shade Elegant. In the crease is the shade Tenacious, and then I just used a pressed powder shadow above to kind of give a little pop of color. They are a part of the amazing Kudos. It ends today. That's Splurge Epic Mascara and the Hottie Lip Plumper. It's gone today. I'm not sure at what time it will be taken down from JenTiffany.com. So if you've been wanting to get in on that deal, you need to hurry. You need to hurry. You need to run over there. I don't want you to miss out. Every single time, I get people who message and say, hey, I want that now. And I'm like, oh, it's not around anymore. It's not around. I'm sorry. So listen, here's like your 5-minute warning. Go check it out. So are you running a social media business? Here's another interesting thought. Do you have something you're doing now that you could take to social media? Can you scale your business through social media? Because, like I said, like this trainer said, the ship has not even left the harbor. We're just getting started. And if you're talking about timing, obviously timing plays a big role sometimes in your dreams, right? This is perfect timing because we're heading into the fall, which are the biggest retail months. So if you've been thinking about doing a business, I suggest you get to get now because you're coming into just a great time period to launch something. And I also, I love the idea of network marketing, which is the type of company Younique is, because it allows people to have their own business, but there's a big corporate staff doing all the things for you, helping to create marketing, taking care of your shipping. It's like I have my own staff that I don't even have to manage. I have somebody in the shipping department. We've got people in warehouse, people in legal, people in product development, people getting products approved, Like, that's how I want you to think about it. Like, you're the CEO of this company that has this huge staff that you don't have to manage. How amazing is that? How wonderful is that? You get to do what you like without doing all the business things that you may not enjoy. That's how I think you need to look at network marketing. It is not a pyramid scheme. Some opportunities are better fits for you than others. Younique fits me like a glove, and I love it. But companies like Younique do a bunch of things. Or, like if you wanted an Etsy shop or a Facebook shop. Listen, the other thing that's happening right now is Facebook, who also owns Instagram, is creating so many features that you can now, if you wanted to, set up a shop on a Facebook business page. If you want to see an example, go look at the shop that I have here on Inspired Beauty by Jen Tiffany. And you don't even have to have a website if you don't want to. You can physically put your shop on Facebook and never build a website if you don't want one. And you don't have to go out, like once upon a time, you had to go out to like shopping cart sites and build your site. You don't have to do that anymore. Facebook's integrating those tools. And they have things, like this, Premiere Video. Instagram has IGTV. You have Facebook groups. There's so many different ways to connect with people, to have a community of people who like what you're selling, like what you're doing. I mean, just the possibilities. If you have a mind similar to mine and you enjoy thinking about possibilities, like when you really get down to it, you can build an empire. You can build, depending on your age, it probably doesn't even matter your age. You can build your retirement. You can build let's just try to, this wasn't the shade of haughty that I was going to go with today. And I'm only using my finger because I don't want it super dark. This shade's a little bit darker. But we want to plump those lips up with that lip plumper. And it's a pretty shade dark. Because the eyes are kind of neutral, I want to keep the lip neutral. See, isn't that good? Isn't that good? Isn't that pretty? We need a little bit of blush. What else do we need? Highlighter. I've been talking so much, I haven't really been paying attention. I'm like on autopilot over here. So really, the point of all of this and why I'm talking to you about it is that I see so many people who have so much potential, who could be living a much better life. Because financial stress is hard, isn't it? I think it's one of the worst types of stress when you've got bills looming over you. I was there. I'm on a single income. That makes a big difference sometimes. I don't have anyone else to rely on. So, things were getting tight and I couldn't take that stress. But I'm somebody who will say, okay, how do we solve this? And at first, we solved that through wreaths. And now we solve that through Younique. And fortunately, Younique brings a whole lot of other value to my life, which I really can't put a price tag on. It is amazing, amazing. How's our lighting? Are we better? Are we better? See, it's all coming together, right? Throw in the earrings. We'll be good for the day. You all have me pumped up because I'm talking about stuff that I love. They're just, you can change whatever your life is right now. You can change it. You can live a whole new life. You want to spend your time vacationing and seeing places that you've dreamed of and still being able to work? Well, guess what? You can go to Fiji and still take your business with you. You can go on a cruise, still take your business with you. You can go to your kids' events and still have your business with you. I think that's what's so exciting. And if you build it, you might get to the point where, that is your sole business, your sole source of income. And think about that. The fact that you have the money, but more so, you have that time freedom and that flexibility. That's one of the things that has always been hard for me. I don't like people to dictate my time. I want to be in control of it. And even when you think about traditional jobs, 2 weeks vacation, 4 weeks vacation, which is great. But what if you could make that more? What if you could pick your own hours and, work when you want? Maybe you want to work, 12 hours days for 4 days, and then you want to take 3 days to yourself every weekend. Sometimes you can't take time to yourself when you're owning your own business, but you like what you're doing. So that makes a huge difference. So whatever it is that your dream is, and I encourage you, if you have kids, support them. Support them. If they want a YouTube channel or an IGTV channel, make sure they're doing it safe depending on their age, because still can be a scary place out there, but support them because they may build something that is unbelievable. I've seen it with kids who are in high school, and to think, that they can just go for their dreams now. When I was graduating high school, it was, you have to go to college. I'm not knocking college. Certainly there is need, there is value, but we're also in an age right now where it's not necessary if you have a certain skill set or you have that passion and you want to learn. So if you have kids, I would encourage whatever, their hopes and dreams are as far as social media. We may not understand it completely, but I can tell you they know how to find the resources. They know how to figure it out. I mean, they are so tech savvy. It's just so exciting to see businesses being launched every day. And I want you to think about this too when we're talking about online businesses or taking your traditional business into the social selling mode, is that there are thousands upon thousands of young folks who are turning 18 every day. And guess what? We're at a place now where they grew up with this technology. So we're going to continue to see a bigger and bigger shift into social media and social selling and social opportunities through the platforms, because this is what they know. They don't remember going to the mall like you and I might remember. Or maybe you're younger and you don't remember going to the mall. They don't remember the days of Black Friday only being the mall. Black Friday to them is hopping on Amazon or seeing what comes through their news feed. It's such an exciting time, and I bring it up because I know that some of you either have need for time freedom, need for money, or you have a dream and you don't know the next steps, or you think there are barriers because it's expensive to get into. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Go out, find people online who can teach you the ways. Search it. You will find everything you need to start whatever you want to start. And if you think that unique might be the way, I'm your girl. There are amazing things happening. I promise you're not going to be disappointed. Not going to be disappointed at all. And there's no monthly cost, none of that. So no barriers there. So no excuses. When I say no barriers, I'm really saying there's no excuses. Just do it. Just do it. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope that there was something in there that inspired you to go out and take action on your dreams today. Maybe start a business today. Maybe turn your hobby into something that either you can share with the masses or you can turn into a business. The possibilities are endless, and I want you to have the best life possible. Go out and make it a great day, my friends. And thank you so much for watching and for your support. And if you like this, share it with your friends. We want to pass on the message. Have a great day.